Chosen one. What if I told you that the greatest moment of your life happened when you least expected it? What if I told you that your soul is part of something so much bigger than you can imagine? You've been through storms you thought would break you, but that very pain was part of a divine strategy you didn't even see coming. What if I told you that everything you've ever struggled with was preparing you for this moment, and the world will never be the same because of what you're about to realize? This isn't a coincidence. It's not just a random series of events. Everything has been leading you to this very moment, and I need you to stop and pay attention because this is the turning point in your journey. You may not have realized it yet, but your every step has been guided, and now is the time for you to fully understand the weight of your purpose. If you're ready to step into the purpose that's always been yours, hit that like button, share this message, and keep watching. You are about to discover something that will change everything and set you on the path you were always meant to walk. Emily is a woman in her mid-30s, living a life defined by constant struggle and unrelenting responsibility. A single mother, she works 2 jobs, sometimes 3, just to make sure her children have what they need. On the outside, she seems like a picture of strength. She moves through her day, checking off tasks, attending to the needs of her family, putting on a brave face. But inside, there's a constant quiet battle. The exhaustion weighs on her more each day, and the emotional toll is hard to ignore. There are nights when she lies awake, staring at the ceiling, wondering if she'll ever catch a break. Life has taught Emily to hold it all in, to push through the pain and disappointment without complaint. She's learned to never show vulnerability, never let anyone see the cracks in her armor. She puts on a smile, answers with a "I'm fine" when people ask how she's doing, and carries on with the weight of the world on her shoulders. But beneath that tough exterior is a woman who feels invisible, lost in the grind of daily life. She's exhausted from giving everything she has and feeling like it's never enough. Every day, it's the same routine, the same uphill climb, and she feels like she's getting nowhere. For years, she's done everything she's been told to do: work hard, stay patient, be kind, put others before herself. She's sacrificed her own needs for the sake of her family, always prioritizing others. And yet with every sacrifice, she feels more and more disconnected from the life she once imagined for herself. She thought things would get easier, that her hard work would eventually pay off, but now it seems like the harder she works, the further she gets from the things that really matter to her. She wants so badly to feel seen, to feel like all the sacrifices she's made have been worth it. But instead, she feels like the universe is indifferent to her struggle. Emily's internal conflict is clear. She's tired of being strong, tired of pretending that everything is okay when she's breaking inside. She's done everything right, but now she feels like the world owes her something in return. It's as though she's constantly running on a treadmill that never stops, never gets easier, and the finish line keeps moving farther away. The more she pushes, the more she wonders if she'll ever truly get what she desires. Peace, happiness, a sense of accomplishment, or even just a moment to breathe. Deep down, she knows she's worthy of more, but she's lost sight of how to get there. The world keeps taking, and she keeps giving, but something's missing. Something deep within her says that there's more to life than this endless cycle of sacrifice and struggle, but she can't see how to break free. All she can do is keep going, keep pushing through each day, even though part of her wonders if she's too far gone to change anything. To the world, Emily might seem like just another person caught in the cycle of ordinary life. Someone who wakes up, works tirelessly, and does her best to make ends meet. Her name is just another face in the crowd, her struggles a reflection of countless others who are also balancing multiple jobs, family, and their own personal battles. She is a mother who does what she can to provide a woman who quietly endures the weight of the world on her shoulders unnoticed by those around her. To most, her life appears unremarkable, perhaps even mundane, just another person navigating through the ups and downs of everyday existence. But in the divine realm, things are seen differently. Her soul, though overlooked by many, has caught the attention of forces she cannot see. Heaven has been watching, and what they see is extraordinary. In a world that often rewards the loudest voices and the most visible successes, Emily's quiet acts of kindness, Her resilience through pain and her ability to hold on to hope despite constant setbacks have made an impression far beyond what she can understand. The very essence of who she is has resonated with something deep within the universe, and in ways she can't comprehend, she is becoming a pivotal figure in a larger divine plan. Her ordinary actions, getting up each day to care for her children, pushing through the exhaustion, making the most of what little she has, carry an incredible weight in the spiritual realm. What may seem like small, everyday decisions to her are noticed by beings beyond time and space, beings who recognize the strength it takes to keep moving forward when the world tells you to stop. She might not see it, but she is being prepared for something greater, and her life is unfolding in a way that is far from ordinary. She is not just surviving, she is becoming an integral part of something far more significant than she could ever imagine. Emily's life seems like a relentless parade of small, emotionally taxing moments that on their own might not seem significant, but when piled together, they create a suffocating weight. It's the unexpected bill that arrives in the mail one morning, an overdue reminder that no matter how hard she works, she can never seem to catch up. She stares at the amount, then at her bank balance, and for a moment it feels like the floor has dropped out from beneath her. But instead of breaking down, she takes a deep breath and decides to push the thoughts aside. "I'll figure it out," she tells herself, just like she always does. But the doubt gnaws at her, and she can't shake the feeling that no matter how much she gives, it's never enough. Later, when she gets home, she is met with an argument from her teenage daughter, who has been distant and rebellious for weeks now. What starts as a conversation about chores quickly spirals into something much more emotional. Emily's daughter accuses her of being too strict, too overbearing, and all Emily can do is stand there feeling her heart crack with every word. The frustration in her daughter's voice feels like an accusation, like a reminder that she is failing as a mother. She tries to stay calm to remind her daughter of the importance of responsibility and respect, but it's hard to speak through the thick fog of exhaustion and emotional depletion. The argument ends with slammed doors, more silence than usual, and a sense of hopelessness hanging in the air. It doesn't matter how much Emily tries to provide for her family, her daughter doesn't understand, and maybe she never will. Emily wonders if she is even doing this mothering thing right. Why does it feel like she's constantly fighting battles no one else can see? The weight of the moment leaves her questioning everything about herself. Then, as if the universe is testing her patience, her car breaks down on the way to pick up groceries. The engine sputters and dies, and the realization hits her like a wave. She can't afford to fix it right now. The tears threaten to fall, but she swallows them back, forcing herself to keep it together. She stands there by the side of the road, feeling utterly defeated. Once again, she has to figure out how to make it work, how to juggle yet another crisis on top of all the others. Her mind races with thoughts of what needs to be done, how she'll get the car towed, how she'll make sure her kids are still taken care of, how she'll continue to stretch herself thinner and thinner until there's nothing left. It all seems so impossible. How did she get here? Why does it feel like her whole life is just one big series of problems that need fixing? Nothing ever seems to go right, and even though she keeps telling herself things will get better, the truth is Emily is starting to lose faith in that idea. She feels like she's running in circles, chasing after something that always seems just out of reach. What is the point of all this struggle, she thinks? Is this really the life I'm meant to lead? Is this all there is? The questions echo in her mind as she walks back into her apartment, heart heavy and tired. The weight of it all presses down on her chest, making it hard to breathe. She's not sure how much longer she can keep pretending that everything is fine. It feels like the universe is playing a cruel joke on her, making her work harder and harder for less and less. The gap between where she is and where she wants to be feels insurmountable. And the more she tries, the more she feels like she's failing. But then, as if the universe is offering her a brief moment of grace, Emily finds herself in the grocery store that afternoon. She's tired, her feet ache, and she's mentally exhausted. But as she stands in line waiting to check out, she notices an elderly woman struggling with her bags. Her hands are shaking, and her steps are slow, as though every movement is a monumental effort. Without a second thought, Emily steps forward. "Can I help you with those?" She asks, her voice soft but steady. The woman looks up at her, her eyes tired but grateful. For a moment, the world around Emily slows down. She doesn't have to think about it, doesn't hesitate. She simply helps the woman carry her bags to the car, offering a simple act of kindness, something that has become second nature to her. The woman thanks her, and Emily smiles, watching as the woman drives away, her heart warmed by the moment. She doesn't realize it yet, but this simple act, the one that cost her nothing more than a few minutes of her time, has just shifted something in the spiritual realm. A quiet, unseen force begins to stir. It's a small thing, almost imperceptible, but in that moment, Emily's selflessness has sent ripples through dimensions she cannot see. The kindness she showed wasn't just an act of charity, it was the spark that would begin to set in motion the change she's been longing for, even if she doesn't know it yet. There's a shift that's happening beneath the surface, and Emily's life is about to take a turn she never saw coming. Something profound is unfolding, and it starts with a simple choice to be kind, to be open, even when the world around her has given her every reason to close off. As Emily continues with her day, something subtle begins to change. The weight that has been bearing down on her for so long, constantly running, constantly trying, always just short of feeling at peace, begins to feel slightly lighter. At first, she doesn't notice. Life is still messy, still full of the same worries, the same tiredness, but there's a slight shift in the air around her. Something feels different, though she can't yet place her finger on it. For the first time in what feels like forever, Emily's heart isn't so tightly wound. She has stopped fighting, even if just for a moment. She's stopped pushing so hard, stopped expecting everything to go according to her plan. She simply allowed herself to be open, to listen, to breathe, and to embrace the quiet strength that exists in surrender. There's a sense of peace that comes with letting go of the need for everything to make sense or be perfect. And in that moment of stillness, something miraculous begins to unfold. A force she cannot see is quietly at work, nudging her in a direction she cannot yet comprehend. Emily unwittingly has opened a door, and through that door something higher begins to move. The divine realm, which had been silently watching her every step, has taken notice. The pain she's carried for so long, the struggles, the moments of feeling invisible, have all been shaping her in ways she could never have understood. The hardship wasn't there to break her, but to build something deeper, something that only now begins to show its true form. Then comes the twist in perspective, Emily's small act of kindness. Something that seemed so insignificant at the time has caught the attention of a celestial being. It wasn't her grand accomplishments or visible triumphs that stood out, but rather the purity in her actions, the way she showed compassion when she had every reason to close herself off. The divine figure observing her is stunned not by her strength in the typical sense, but by the quiet resilience in her heart. She didn't give up even when it seemed like everything else in her life was falling apart. She kept going, kept choosing love and kindness over bitterness, even when life had every right to make her hard. What Emily doesn't know is that this divine figure, one whose presence has been felt by many throughout history, sees her not as a broken soul, but as someone whose hidden strength is about to be revealed. The twist, your pain, your struggles, the things you thought would break you, have actually been forming the core of something extraordinary. What seemed like setbacks, what she viewed as the relentless grind of an ordinary life, was all part of a much bigger plan, one that is about to reveal its purpose in the most unexpected of ways. As Emily navigates through the mundane hours of her day, the quiet acts of faith, kindness, and perseverance she's lived out are stacking up to create a force too powerful to remain unseen. Something she couldn't have known has been quietly aligning her steps, and the road ahead is about to become clearer in ways she never expected. The intervention she's been waiting for, the one that will transform her life, has already begun, and it's unfolding with the divine timing only the universe can orchestrate. As Emily continues through her life, the challenges she faces begin to take on a deeper meaning, one that she can't yet fully comprehend. While she may not see it, her soul has become part of something much larger than herself, a cosmic battle between forces that want to mold her into something she was never meant to be. These forces working in the unseen realms have been relentlessly pushing her toward defeat, toward bitterness, toward closing off her heart in self-preservation. Every moment of struggle, every painful decision, every feeling of abandonment was part of a grand design, a strategy to break her, to make her forget the very essence of who she truly is. But Emily unknowingly has been resisting. Every time life has knocked her down, she has gotten back up. Every time the weight of the world tried to crush her spirit, she found a way to keep going, even when she felt like she had nothing left to give. The more she endures, the more her divine essence radiates, like a light shining through the cracks in a darkened room. The forces of opposition, though they do not fully understand, it can feel this light. They sense the strength within her, a power far greater than they anticipated, and it terrifies them. They know that her soul is a weapon forged in the fires of adversity, and if they don't stop her now, she will become something unstoppable, something they cannot control. In the invisible realms, the battle intensifies. The forces that once sought to break her are now scrambling to divert her from her true path. But no matter how hard they push, no matter how many times they throw obstacles in her way, Emily's soul remains unshaken. Each act of kindness, each moment of vulnerability, each choice to rise above the hurt only strengthens her connection to the divine. She may not be aware of it, but the more she persists, the more she is becoming the person she was always meant to be, a force for good in a world that desperately needs it. The revelation comes. Everything you've endured wasn't just life happening to you, it was preparing you for the spiritual battle of your life. You were never meant to be defeated. All the pain, all the struggles, the countless moments where she felt like giving up, they were never meant to break her. They were forging her into something extraordinary. In each painful moment, Emily was unknowingly sharpening her spirit, preparing herself for a fight that wasn't against the world but for it. The cosmic forces at play, those that had hoped to see her succumb to the weight of her own pain, are now the ones on the defensive. They underestimated the strength of her heart, the power of her unwavering belief in goodness and the light that emanates from her soul. Emily may not realize it yet, but she is the one who holds the power. She has become the answer to a battle that has been raging for eons, and the time has come for her to step into her divine purpose. The battle is no longer just about survival. It is about victory, about reclaiming the strength she's always carried within her and using it to become the light the world has been waiting for. The day comes when Emily is standing on the edge of everything at a crossroads between the life she's known and the one that's been waiting for her. She's exhausted emotionally and physically, spent her heart worn thin by the constant battles she's fought. But there's something different now. A quiet sense of knowing, a shift in her spirit starts to rise up. The doubts, the insecurities, the fear that has kept her small and unseen are all coming to a head. For the first time, she begins to see clearly she's not just enduring. She's been evolving. All the pain, the struggles, and the setbacks were never meant to tear her down. They were shaping her into the woman she is destined to become. In that moment of clarity, Emily faces a choice: hold onto the doubts that have kept her trapped in a cycle of self-criticism and fear, or finally trust in the strength she's always carried inside her, a strength that has never faltered despite everything she's endured. She could continue to believe that she is nothing more than the sum of her failures and flaws, or she could embrace the truth that in the darkest of times, she has remained open, kind, and strong. It's in this vulnerable moment that Emily feels a presence, something powerful yet gentle surrounding her. A surge of warmth, a knowing deep within her bones whispers to her that she is not alone. Divine forces, unseen but deeply aware, reveal themselves to her. These forces have watched over her through every sleepless night, through every tear shed in silence, through every moment when she wanted to give up but refused. They have seen the persistence in her heart, the unwavering belief in goodness, even when it felt like the world had none to offer. She has been chosen not because of her perfection, but because of her heart, her ability to love despite the hurt, her refusal to let her circumstances define her. She has been chosen for greatness, for a purpose that extends far beyond her own understanding. The moment of climax arrives when Emily fully grasps what has been happening all along. The thing she thought was her greatest weakness, her vulnerability, her open heart despite the pain, was in fact her greatest strength. What you thought was weakness was actually your greatest strength. The divine voice speaks, and Emily feels it resonate in every cell of her being. Her vulnerability has not been a flaw, but the very thing that has allowed her to connect to the divine, to weather the storms without losing herself in the process. Her heart wide open and unguarded has been the conduit for her strength, for her ability to rise again after every fall. In this moment, Emily is no longer just surviving. She is becoming the warrior she was always meant to be. The battles, the pain, the endless struggles, all of it has led her to this realization. She is a force of light, and it is her open heart that has made her unstoppable. This clarity, this divine confirmation, is the turning point she has been waiting for. She is no longer the woman who questions her worth. She is the woman who understands the depths of her power, and nothing will ever be the same again. She is ready to step into her true calling, to fight the battles ahead, not with fear, but with the strength of a heart that has been forged in love, perseverance, and divine purpose. As Emily fully embraces the clarity and divine confirmation she has just received, a profound shift occurs in the invisible realm. She may not see it with her physical eyes, but everything around her begins to change. It's as if the universe, which once felt like an unyielding force against her, suddenly bends to her will. The heaviness she has carried for so long starts to dissipate, replaced by a quiet confidence that radiates from deep within her. She stands taller now, not just physically, but spiritually, as if the very air around her responds to her newfound strength. The forces of the universe, which have been watching, waiting, and subtly guiding her, now shift in her favor. What once felt like an insurmountable wall begins to crumble. Emily had spent so much time fighting against the current, trying to push her way through the obstacles in her path. But now it's as if the current itself has changed course. The challenges that once felt crushing the closed doors she had tirelessly tried to open suddenly begin to yield. The universe isn't fighting her anymore. Instead, it is aligning with her, clearing a path forward that had previously seemed impossible. Doors that once slammed shut now swing open with ease. Opportunities that had been elusive, jobs, relationships, personal growth, suddenly start to appear on the horizon. What seemed out of reach, distant, and unattainable is now within her grasp. She's no longer walking through life with the feeling that everything is a battle. Now things are beginning to flow. It's as if the weight of the world has been lifted off her shoulders, replaced by an overwhelming sense of possibility. Emily doesn't have to fight against her circumstances anymore. She's simply walking into her purpose, and the universe is clearing the way. The quiet moments of struggle, the tears shed in silence, the battles she fought alone, those moments now make sense. They were never meant to break her. They were preparing her for this moment when everything aligns perfectly. What once seemed like barriers are now stepping stones, guiding her to the life she was always meant to live. As Emily steps forward, doors open, not just in the physical realm, but in the spiritual one, as if the universe is finally rewarding her persistence, her faith, and her unbreakable spirit. The world that once seemed so heavy and difficult now feels full of possibility. And Emily, in this moment of profound clarity, knows that everything she's been through has been leading her to this extraordinary shift in her life. The path ahead is brighter, clearer, and full of promise, and for the first time in a long while, Emily believes she is exactly where she is meant to be. Chosen one. You may never fully understand the weight of the choices you've made. You may not realize how each small decision, each act of kindness, each moment of strength, no matter how insignificant it seemed at the time, has shaped you into the person you are today. But everything you've been through, your heartbreak, your struggle, your journey, has been more than just a series of events. It has been the preparation for this very moment. Every challenge, every setback, every tear you shed in the dark was building something within you. It was refining you, molding you into the warrior you were always meant to be. You might look back and wonder why things had to be so difficult, why you had to endure the pain that seemed endless, but know this, none of it was wasted. It all served a higher purpose. Each hardship you faced was an opportunity for growth, a chance to discover a strength inside you that you never knew existed. And now, as you stand on the edge of everything you've ever dreamed of, you are ready to step into your purpose, ready to embrace the life that has always been waiting for you. Remember, the universe doesn't make mistakes. The path you've walked, the obstacles you've overcome, and the courage you've shown through it all. This was all part of a divine design. You were never meant to be defeated. You were always meant to rise, to transform, and to step into the fullness of your potential. So, chosen one, take this moment to reflect on how far you've come. You've already faced the hardest battles, and now, with a heart open to the greatness that lies ahead, there is nothing that can stop you. You have everything you need inside of you to conquer whatever comes next. The world is waiting for you, and the forces of the universe are aligned in your favor. Keep moving forward with faith and confidence, knowing that your story is far from over. It's just beginning, and the best is yet to come. You are not just a product of your circumstances. You are the product of divine design, crafted with purpose and strength, even when you can't fully see it. Every hardship you've faced, every challenge you've conquered, has shaped you into the person you are becoming. You are not defined by your struggles, but by the power that resides within you. The divine plan is unfolding even when it feels like the path is unclear. Know this, everything is happening in perfect timing, and everything you've gone through is part of the masterpiece being created within you. You are not just surviving, you are becoming who you were always meant to be. The person who has faced the storms, who has kept their heart open, who has chosen love and strength over fear and doubt, that person is destined for greatness. Keep going, chosen one. Even when the road seems long, even when you feel like you can't take another step, trust that the divine is with you in every moment, guiding you, empowering you, and watching over you. Embrace your greatness because it has always been inside you, waiting for this moment to shine. Your journey is just beginning, and the world needs the light you carry.